Dive into the captivating narrative of the book of Genesis, a profound exploration that not only chronicles the beginnings of the world but also reveals the intricate relationship between divine intention and human action. As we navigate through the stories of creation, choice, and redemption, you may find yourself reflecting on your own life. How can the lessons of ancient families, filled with flaws and failures, illuminate your path toward hope and purpose? This study invites you to uncover timeless truths that resonate deeply, challenging you to consider how the wisdom of Genesis can transform your understanding of faith and inspire meaningful change in your everyday journey. Genesis unfolds like an epic tale with two distinct chapters, one of universal beginnings and the other of personal promises. In chapters 1 to 11, readers explore God's intricate bond with all of creation, a panorama that includes the vibrant start of the world, humanity's first choices, and a deluge that wiped the slate clean. It's here that you find those profound stories that explain not just how the earth took shape, but how human nature unraveled, setting the stage for future hope and development. These narratives teach that while mankind's flaws are ancient, so is the divine commitment to understanding and restoring order. As the second part of Genesis kicks in, chapters 12 to 50, the spotlight shifts from sweeping world events to the specific lineage of Abraham. Think of it as zooming in from the broad strokes of creation to the finely detailed masterpiece of a family called to a unique destiny. It's in these chapters that Abraham's descendants, an ordinary family with extraordinary promises, navigate the challenges of trust, betrayal, and growth. This part of Genesis isn't just history, it's a study in human resilience, the struggles of development, and the echoes of God's hope for humanity's future. Understanding the structure of Genesis is like grasping the skeleton of a grand story. The early chapters present a God who crafts life and patiently seeks a relationship with his creation, while the latter ones capture how he singles out a family to channel that hope forward. Abraham's journey marks the turning point from a universal relationship to a personal promise, a dynamic reminder that out of chaos comes order, and from order, the seeds of redemption. And just when you think you've seen the full picture, the next chapter begins to unfurl an even deeper layer. Genesis opens with a sweeping act of creation where God transforms the chaos into a world brimming with order, life, and beauty. Imagine a blank canvas suddenly coming alive with color and purpose, the vast sky, the oceans, the first burst of life. It's not just about shaping the earth, it's about setting a foundation for development and understanding the essence of divine craftsmanship. When humans are introduced, made in God's image, it's like being handed an identity card that says, "Reflect the Creator." This idea isn't just poetic, it's deeply practical. Humans are designed to steward creation, to manage it with care and responsibility. Adam, whose name carries the meaning of man in Hebrew, is more than a single character. He represents humanity as a whole. Being made in God's image isn't about physical likeness, but embodying qualities like creativity, reason, and the ability to nurture relationships. Picture an artist looking at a blank piece of paper, ready to create something that reflects their heart. This is how humans are meant to reflect God's nature. It's an explanation of why we strive for beauty, search for meaning, and long for a sense of purpose. Every garden you tend, every project you pour your energy into, echoes this design. God's initial creation wasn't just a display of power, but a teaching moment, a blueprint for humanity. Each layer, from separating light and darkness to shaping humans, carried the theme of turning chaos into purpose. This origin story challenges us to reflect on our own lives. Where can we bring order out of disorder, foster beauty, or create hope for the future? And just as the narrative begins to deepen, a choice surfaces, waiting for Adam and all of us who follow him. The story of the tree of knowledge in Genesis is an age-old lesson on choice and trust, a topic as relevant now as it was at the dawn of humanity. It's fascinating to see that in this garden full of beauty and abundance, there was one boundary, a tree representing the choice between trusting God's knowledge or forging their own path. Imagine standing in a room full of opportunities, but being told there's one door you shouldn't open. This scene symbolizes the human struggle. Do we accept guidance, or do we seek to define good and evil on our own terms? Freedom is a powerful gift, but it comes with weighty implications. Adam and Eve's decision to eat from the tree wasn't just a simple act of defiance, it was humanity's declaration of independence from divine wisdom. The implications of that choice echo through time, manifesting in every decision where people wrestle between what they know is right and what they desire. From career moves to ethical dilemmas, this ancient study mirrors real-life scenarios where choosing hope and wisdom can mean a path of growth, while impulse can lead to unforeseen development or downfall. This pivotal choice, set against the backdrop of a perfect creation, stirs deep questions about trust and knowledge. Why do we so often choose to define life by our own standards? Genesis pushes readers to examine their lives and question, are we leaning into the understanding that has stood the test of time, or are we still reaching for our own versions of good and evil? And as humanity's story unfolds from this moment, a new figure enters, one that shifts the course of hope and complicates the path forward. Enter the serpent, a cunning figure whose whisper shatters the trust between creation and creator. In Genesis, this moment is more than a tale of temptation. It's the turning point where disobedience becomes a thread woven into humanity's story. The serpent's challenge, did God really say? Sparks doubt and fuels the first step towards separation. This pivotal act doesn't just break a rule, it breaks relationships, leading to a ripple effect of mistrust and distance from God. Just like that, humanity's path veers from one of unity to one fraught with division and self-doubt. Disobedience doesn't happen in isolation, its consequences are communal and multi-layered. Adam and Eve's decision to trust the serpent's twisted truths instead of divine wisdom resulted in more than their immediate guilt, it ushered in a world where brokenness is passed down. We see this today in fractured relationships, miscommunications, and cycles of hurt that mirror that first act of defiance. The fall isn't just history, it's a recurring study in why understanding the deeper roots of trust and temptation is key to our development. The choice that began in Eden echoes every time we face the allure of shortcuts or compromise. From this single act of disobedience came the spread of sin, a force that would shape every aspect of human life from that point onward. Separation from God wasn't just physical, it was spiritual, a chasm of misunderstanding and longing for redemption. It's a scene that invites readers to look at their own lives and ask, where do subtle doubts lead us astray? But, as Genesis hints, this isn't where the story ends. Amid the brokenness, a promise emerges, pointing to a future glimmer of hope and a mysterious victor who would set things right. In the aftermath of Adam and Eve's choice, Genesis unfolds the deep consequences of sin, pain, toil, and a fractured relationship with creation itself. Yet, in this moment of judgment, an unexpected glimmer of hope shines through. God speaks of a descendant from Eve, a wounded victor who would crush the serpent's head, even as he suffers a wound himself. This poetic prophecy plants the seed of redemption in the darkest of moments, hinting that humanity's story isn't bound to end in brokenness but can rise towards healing and renewal. This promise is more than just an ancient prediction, it's a profound teaching that resonates through the ages, a beacon of hope for anyone facing setbacks or guilt. It's like being in the middle of a storm and spotting a distant light signaling that refuge is ahead. The wounded victor isn't just a concept for scholars, it represents the idea that out of pain, strength and victory can emerge. Think of moments when failure or hardship have led to unexpected growth and development. It's the essence of this promise at work, an understanding that the future holds redemption even when the present feels bleak. Genesis begins a narrative thread that weaves through the rest of the Bible, setting the stage for the ultimate resolution of humanity's struggle with sin. The mention of a future conqueror hints that every story of struggle, from personal battles to broader human conflicts, carries the possibility of hope and restoration. It's as if the teaching is whispering, hold on, the story isn't over. And as the tale continues, humanity's corruption grows, leading to a crescendo of disorder and a promise of restoration on the horizon. Genesis moves swiftly from the promise of a redeemer to the gritty reality of humanity's increasing corruption. Stories like Cain and Abel illustrate the deep-seated jealousy that leads to violence, a brother striking down a brother. This is a harsh reflection of how quickly sin evolves from disobedience to devastating acts, echoing the same conflicts we see in families and communities today. It's a sobering teaching that unchecked desires can lead to fractured relationships and ripple into even greater turmoil. Yet, these stories aren't just bleak, they push readers to seek understanding and explore paths that avoid such destructive ends. The tale of the Nephilim adds a mysterious layer, showing humanity's spiraling state and a world where boundaries blur. By the time we reach the Tower of Babel, ambition drives people to build their way to heaven itself, showcasing humanity's relentless push to define hope and future on their own terms. This is more than ancient lore, it's a study in what happens when creation seeks to outshine its creator. You can see parallels in today's world where the pursuit of progress or power sometimes comes at the cost of unity and understanding. But as human ambition peaks, confusion spreads, leaving only fragmentation behind. Despite the deep corruption, Genesis does not end with despair. Instead, God's promise to restore creation remains a thread woven through every chaotic moment. It's like watching a tangled knot begin to loosen, hinting that even the most knotted narratives have potential for untangling. The seeds of hope planted earlier stand firm, reminding us that redemption is not just possible but assured. And it's through this lens of promise that God introduces the next chapter, a man named Abraham, through whom he intends to fulfill his vow and bring a future blessing to all nations. As humanity stumbles further into darkness, marked by tales of violence, jealousy, and ambition, Genesis shifts focus to a singular figure, Abraham. In the middle of humanity's spiral, God's plan begins to reveal itself, not through sudden cosmic correction, but through the choice of one man willing to trust and follow. It's a bold move, signaling that restoration starts not with power but with faith. Just as in our own lives, the first step to renewal often begins in a moment of trust, choosing to act on hope even when the future is unclear. God's call to Abraham is profound. He's asked to leave behind everything familiar, his homeland, his roots, the comfort of known surroundings, to step into an unknown promised land. In this pivotal moment, the story shifts from the collective chaos of the world to a personal journey that holds the promise of blessings for generations. Think about times when taking a leap of faith seemed daunting but ended up leading to unexpected growth. Abraham's journey reflects the idea that sometimes, the path to a brighter future requires letting go of what you know and embracing what lies ahead, guided by hope and trust. The promise to Abraham isn't just for him, it's for all nations, a whisper that redemption and healing would extend beyond the borders of one family or tribe. This teaching is crucial because it shows that God's plan is never limited or exclusive. The development of Abraham's story opens the door to understanding that hope and blessings aren't confined by our boundaries. And as the lineage begins to grow, marked by both triumphs and stumbles, the narrative holds on to this promise, leading into the generational tales where faith and failures intertwine. Abraham's story is pivotal, not only for its personal transformation but also for the covenant that unfolds, one that carries the weight of divine promise and human response. When God calls him to leave everything behind and venture into Canaan, it's a moment that echoes throughout history. This isn't just a physical relocation, it's a divine invitation to embark on a spiritual journey that shapes the destiny of nations. Abraham's decision to step into the unknown reflects a powerful teaching. Often, our greatest blessings lie just beyond the comfort zone, waiting for us to take that first leap of faith. The covenant that God establishes with Abraham is rich with implications. God promises to make Abraham the father of a great nation, a lineage through which blessings would flow. It's a profound understanding that, even in our own lives, the decisions we make can ripple outwards, impacting not just us but generations to come. Just like Abraham, When individuals choose to act on their convictions, they can inspire change and hope in their communities. Think about figures in history, like Martin Luther King Jr. or Malala Yousafzai, who took bold steps for a greater cause, reflecting the same dynamic of a covenant that seeks to uplift humanity. This promise also resonates with the original intent of creation, where God desired a relationship with humanity, marked by love and blessing. Abraham's journey back to Canaan symbolizes a restoration of that relationship, a return to the essence of what it means to be in communion with the Creator. It teaches us that no matter how far we may stray, the invitation to return and rebuild remains open. As the narrative unfolds, it sets the stage for the generational challenges ahead, revealing that even the strongest promises can encounter obstacles, yet God's faithfulness endures through every twist and turn. As the narrative continues, we find ourselves amidst the lives of Abraham's descendants, Isaac, Jacob, and his 12 sons. Each generation grapples with its own challenges, often marked by decisions that threaten the very promises God made. Isaac, though a miracle child, experiences the weight of expectations and struggles with identity, much like many individuals today who must navigate their family legacies while carving out their own paths. This teaches a valuable lesson. Every family has its imperfections and hurdles, yet God's faithfulness doesn't waver in the face of our shortcomings. Jacob's story adds another layer of complexity, as his life is characterized by deceit and striving for approval. He wrestles not only with his brother Esau but also with his own insecurities and ambitions. This internal conflict mirrors the struggles we all face when trying to balance our desires with our responsibilities. Imagine the lessons learned from overcoming personal trials. Those moments of wrestling with our inner selves often lead to transformation. Jacob's eventual renaming to Israel symbolizes a turning point, showing that struggle can yield profound change, aligning us more closely with our purpose. As Jacob's sons enter the scene, the narrative doesn't shy away from their failings either. From jealousy and betrayal, as seen in Joseph's story, to outright conflict, these siblings navigate a world where familial ties are both a source of strength and division. Yet, through it all, God's promise remains steadfast. This enduring faithfulness underscores a crucial teaching. Even in times of disarray, hope can emerge from the most tangled situations. As readers reflect on these generational challenges, they're reminded that no matter the failures or obstacles faced, there's always a chance for redemption and restoration, setting the stage for the incredible journey ahead. Jacob's journey is a powerful narrative of transformation that speaks volumes about the human experience. From the very beginning, he's characterized by cunning and ambition, whether it's deceiving his brother for a blessing or wrestling with his identity. This theme of deceit serves as a mirror for us, inviting reflection on our own lives and the times we may have strayed from our true selves. Jacob's story resonates with those moments when ambition overshadows integrity, reminding us that our paths can often twist and turn unexpectedly, leading us toward deeper truths about ourselves. Yet, it's through Jacob's trials that we see the seeds of transformation begin to sprout. His encounter with God, marked by a literal wrestling match, is a defining moment that alters his trajectory. In the midst of struggle, he clings to the divine, seeking a blessing even while grappling with his shortcomings. This powerful image reflects the reality that true growth often emerges from the most challenging circumstances. Just like Jacob, individuals can learn to embrace their struggles, turning them into opportunities for personal development. It's a reminder that sometimes, the greatest victories come from within, when we confront our fears and insecurities head-on. Renamed Israel, Jacob emerges as the patriarch of a nation destined to embody the essence of God's nature. This shift from Jacob to Israel symbolizes a new identity rooted in faithfulness and purpose. It teaches us that our past does not define us, rather, it's our willingness to engage with our journeys that shapes our future. Each reader can draw inspiration from Jacob's story, understanding that despite setbacks and mistakes, there's always the potential for redemption and growth. As Israel, Jacob becomes a beacon of hope, representing a community called to reflect God's love and justice, a theme that carries profound implications for the unfolding narrative and the generations to come. The saga of Joseph stands out as a remarkable tale of resilience amid betrayal and hardship. Sold into slavery by his own brothers, Joseph's journey could easily have been one marked by bitterness and despair. Instead, he chooses a path of integrity and faith, thriving in the face of adversity. This narrative speaks to the profound truth that our circumstances do not determine our worth or our potential. Like Joseph, individuals can find ways to rise above challenges, using their experiences as catalysts for personal growth and development. When faced with setbacks, it's crucial to remember that every setback is merely a setup for a comeback. Joseph's rise to power in Egypt is nothing short of extraordinary. Through his unique ability to interpret dreams, he not only gains the Pharaoh's favor but also positions himself to influence the course of history. His story illustrates the importance of utilizing our gifts and talents, even in the most challenging situations. When faced with difficulties, ask yourself, what unique abilities do you possess that could be leveraged for greater good? Just as Joseph harnessed his skills to serve others, individuals today can find ways to contribute positively to their communities, turning personal trials into collective triumphs. Ultimately, Joseph's journey culminates in a moment of reunion with his estranged family during a time of famine. Instead of seeking revenge for their betrayal, he embraces them, demonstrating the power of forgiveness and grace. This pivotal act of reconciliation embodies a divine lesson. God can take even the darkest moments of human experience and transform them into opportunities for healing and redemption. Joseph's story serves as a reminder that, even amid our struggles, hope and restoration are possible. As the narrative unfolds, it invites readers to reflect on their own lives and consider how they might transform adversity into a source of strength, setting the stage for the hope and future fulfillment that awaits in the broader story. As the book of Genesis draws to a close, it leaves readers with a powerful sense of hope rooted in the promise of future blessings. This hope is intricately tied to Judah's lineage, which foreshadows the emergence of a king destined to fulfill God's promises. The narrative hints at something profound, suggesting that despite the chaos and failures of humanity, there's a divine plan unfolding that aims for restoration. This idea can resonate deeply with anyone facing uncertainty or feeling lost in their journey. The lesson here is clear: even when circumstances seem bleak, the seeds of hope are often sown, waiting to blossom into something greater. Judah, one of Jacob's sons, becomes a focal point in this promise, illustrating how unexpected individuals can play pivotal roles in God's plan. His lineage not only marks the establishment of the royal line of Israel but also points towards a future that includes all nations. This concept encourages readers to reflect on their own potential impact on the world. Just as Judah's story reveals that anyone can contribute to a greater good, individuals today can be inspired to embrace their unique roles and responsibilities, believing that their actions, no matter how small, can ripple out to affect meaningful change. It's about recognizing that our everyday decisions might be part of a much larger narrative. Moreover, the concluding chapters of Genesis are a call to embrace a future filled with promise. The hope embedded in these verses encourages believers to look forward with anticipation, fostering a mindset that believes in possibilities. This perspective can be transformational in everyday life. It's about cultivating an attitude of expectation, where one actively seeks opportunities for growth and connection. As readers ponder these themes of hope and fulfillment, they're reminded that the journey doesn't end here. Instead, it opens a new chapter filled with potential, setting the stage for the unfolding story of redemption that transcends generations and invites all to partake in its richness. As you embark on your journey forward, I encourage you to apply this newfound knowledge. Engage with these stories, share your insights, and consider subscribing to the channel for more in-depth explorations of biblical wisdom. Together, let's continue to learn, grow, and transform our lives in ways that honor the divine narratives of our shared history. As we wrap up this exploration of Genesis, it's time to reflect on the profound insights we've uncovered and consider how they apply to our own lives. What choices are you facing that could either lead you closer to your true purpose or steer you away? The stories of creation, covenant, and redemption challenge us to embrace our role in a larger narrative, one where our actions and decisions can ripple out and impact the world around us. So, take a moment to assess how you can embody the hope and restoration echoed throughout these sacred texts. Think about the lessons of resilience from Joseph, the promise of future blessings through Judah, and the transformative power of faith amid chaos. How can you implement these teachings in your daily life? Perhaps it's by forgiving those who have wronged you or recognizing the unique gifts you have to offer. Remember, each day presents an opportunity to align your choices with the principles outlined in Genesis, guiding you toward a life filled with purpose and connection.